Hi everyone, Katarina here. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I'm going to share how I made this gorgeous 50th anniversary card. I made an easel card, a round shaped one, using the inverted scallop dies from Craft+, which I will show you in a minute. And for the lovely flowers, I used Chloe's Creative Cards summer flower set. I think it's just so gorgeous. I added lots of bling and lots of sparkle. Now this one I was asked to make for a 50th anniversary, but I don't need another one of these, so today I'm going to be using silver colors, and for the sentiment I will use happy birthday sentiment instead of the anniversary one. But of course you can customize this, you can change the colors. It doesn't have to go in the color and silver theme. You can make pinks, reds, any colors or colorful, and use it for any occasion at all. I think these are just such gorgeous cards. Now I will be walking you through everything that I use in this tutorial, and if you want to know what variations of the embossing powders and the glitter and all that I used on this one, stay to the end of the video. I will insert a little clip in there showing what I opted for using on this one. Okay, so for the card base I need 3 pieces of circle die cuts, which I use the Creative Craft Products inverted scallop dies, and the sizes that I went for in this one, these are quite large. You can so easily adjust. Yes, this is the 3rd one down, so I cut out 3 white cardstocks of that, and the next one down I've cut out a piece of silver marble cardstock that I had in my stash for such a long time, and it is from this basic marble paper pad set from Craft Sensation. I must have got this in the range, I can't remember, it was that long ago. So on one of these white ones I'm going to score down. It really doesn't matter where you're scoring down at this one, just make sure you hold it tight so it doesn't move after the first score line that I'm going to make at 3¼ of an inch, because now I'm going to come back to the start, and at 3/4 of an inch I'm also going to score down. I'm going to fold and burnish these. This one's going to be folded this way, and the small one I'm going to fold the other way back. What's going to happen, I'm going to glue this bit onto the base of the card, and it's this bit that will act as an easel. The 3rd panel will be glued onto this bit in here. But before I can glue this down, I have to add my base to this, and I'm going to use this lovely marble silver foiled cardstock. Once I'm happy this is nice and centered, I'm going to add glue just to this little 3/4 of an inch tab. I'm going to use my quick grab glue in here. It's just going to glue it down that much quicker. And I'm going to line this up nicely so the scallops lie perfectly on top of each other, like so. And now you can see how this is starting to take shape already. So with my 3rd panel I'm going to glue this on top of this one, and this is how the easel mechanism will work then. Okay, so I'm just going to add glue only to this half of the circle. Make sure you don't add any glue in there, because then your easel card wouldn't fold up. And now that's the card base actually ready. It's all about decorating. So we are going to create all the flowers and all the embellishments that I'm going to use on creating these. Okay, so for the flowers, I'm using Summer Flower Trio from Chloe's Creative Cards, and this is a stamp and die set. I absolutely love the flowers that you can create with these ones. So there's 3 different sizes of the flowers, some lovely sentiments, and the coordinating dies to cut the flowers out with. So I'm going to show you, I'm using one of each flowers. It's exactly the same process for them all that I've created mine. I'm only going to show you one flower in this video. So first of all, on a piece of cardstock, just use your embossing body or baby powder or whatever it is like to use. And my Versamark ink pad. And I'm going to stamp this down. So as you can see, I stamped this twice because I need 2 of these for each flower. And the heat embossing powder I'm going to use is this gorgeous glittery silver, and it's from Stamps by Chloe, and this is the silver dollar. I absolutely love this one. It's just so sparkly, so gorgeous. I've used this a lot on my Christmas mix, and I definitely will be using this a lot, regardless it's Christmas or not. I just absolutely love it. The sparkle on them is just gorgeous. So I'm just going to heat set this quickly. I just want to say before I turn this on, because it's very noisy, I give it a minute or so to heat up properly before I apply the heat to the flowers, and I always go from underneath. When there's glitter in the embossing powder, I find if I go from the top, it just blows all the glitter all over the place and it doesn't actually stick to the design. If you want the glitter to stay nice put on the stamp that you just stamped, then it's best to go from underneath, okay? You can see how lovely and sparkly this turned out. Now I'm going to set this aside for a while. I'm going to take a piece of heat resistant acetate. As you can see, I'm using my my embossing body on this one as well, and I'm using it quite generously. Taking my Versamark ink and inking up that same flower. I'm going to stand up for this one. I try not to push down too hard on this, because I find the stamp moves so much easier on the acetate, and I really don't want this image to be smudged. I want it to be nice and clear with sharp lines. So just pressing down gently on all the petals. Now I'm going to pull this up. And I'm going to use that exact same embossing powder, the silver dollar. Such a lovely image. I hope you can pick that up. And now I'm going to tip this all back in here, not to waste it. And I'm also going to heat set this one more time. And this is such a gorgeous floral image. I'm just going to cut this away because I will need another piece of acetate here in a minute. So for the foliage, I'm going to use the Stamp and Die set, also from Chloe's Creative Cards, and this one is the Dazzling Foliage. I have to say this is by far my favorite foliage stamp set, die set to use. Honestly, it's just so gorgeous. Out of the 4, it is these 3 that I will be using. So first up will be this berry-like kind of a foliage, which I will be heat embossing again on a white piece of cardstock. And to heat emboss this, I'm using the White Pearl by Wow embossing powder. Now this is a regular and it works fine. I used to have a super fine one, but I ran out of it and I couldn't get it since. But this one works just as well. I think this gives such a lovely, beautiful and elegant effect. Now this is what it looks like. I hope you can pick it up. It's such a lovely shine, like a little pearly shine to them. So stamp and heat set these as many times as you like. For the next foliage, this leafy greenery type, I'm going to heat emboss these onto a piece of, if I can find where I put mine, holographic mirror cardstock. Now this is such a gorgeous, I've never done this before and it's so lovely. Now I have to say, when you're heat setting this, it does change the color of the cardstock just slightly. When I was using it on the gold, it slightly lightened up the color, but I didn't mind that. It actually looked quite nice because it takes away from that yellowiness of the gold and it made it look really beautiful. And it doesn't change much on this at all. I will show you in a minute. So I'm just stamping them with the Versamark watermark stamp pad. And on this one I'm using the white embossing powder by Ranger, and this is the super fine, the detail one. This is such a lovely bright white, real opaque color. I absolutely love this. So okay, so now I'm standing up to try to heat set this, so I should be able to show you how much that color changes. It's a very, very slight change in it. Now it is so slight, it's barely noticeable. You might be able to pick up a little bit of a slight halo all around it because it lightened the color up, but on this holographic card it really is minimal. Okay, so that's one thing, and there's one more thing that I need to prepare, and for this again I'm going to bring in the heat resistant acetate. Use my heat embossing body on this one. And the last things that I'm going to stamp is this foliage in here. And out of them all, this is my all-time favorite. I love it. I love using it on cardstock. I love using it on acetate. I think it's just very pretty, and I think it adds lovely detail to cards or any projects at all. So again, I'm inking it up and I'm going to stamp it onto the acetate, and again as many times as you wish. I think I have prepared 5 of these for the card, and for this again I'm using the same white embossing powder, but you can use a glittery one if you wish. I'm going to add extra glitter to these, so that's why I think the white is just fine. Cut this bit away. Okay, so now using the coordinating dies, I'm going to die cut these. These are quite easy to line up. There's one petal that has a little spike missing, and you can pick it up on the stamp as well. So you just line them up. I like to add a little bit of a double-sided, I like to add a bit of okay, so just line them up. I like to add a bit of low-tack tape to these. It's exactly the same thing with the foliage. All the foliage that I heat embossed on cardstock. Also this one in here. I really love how easy these are to line up, and I'm going to run them all through my die cutting machine. And the ones that I heat embossed on acetate, I'm just going to cut out. It's very easy to follow these lines, but you don't have to be very precise with these because it's on acetate and acetate is see-through. So for the flower, I just followed those lines, and now I'm going to cut down right into the middle in here until I reach the stamen-like silver bits in the middle. This will just help me in shaping the flower. Okay, and the other thing that I need to cut out of acetate is this little foliage in here, and I'm going to add some extra glitter. So I have 2 pieces of the cardstock and 1 of the acetate for the flowers, and as you can see, I already done it with 1 of them. I just fold them up in the middle, all these petals, just to shape them, adding them a little bit of a dimension. So just like this, just pinch them up in the middle a bit, and with the acetate all I'm doing is folding them up towards the middle. I'm kind of adding it a lovely strong fold line at the base of these petals. And once this is done, the acetate and only 1 of these cardstocks I'm going to add my glitter to. So what I like to do here is I like to just start flicking them out, just following those little lines that are on the stamp already, and just a little bit of a scribble on the top and a line down the middle of them. Just really following those exact same lines that are on the lovely stamp already anyway. And I'm going to do the same with the acetate bit. And the glitter that I'm going to use in here is from Chloe's Creative Crafts, the Sparklicious glitter, and this one is the Diamond Dazzler. I think this is just such a lovely, beautiful glitter. It has all different sizes in it, and it's just gorgeous. Now I'm going to have to set these aside to dry. So the glue that I used is the Cosmic Shimmer acrylic glue, and this glue dries real nice and strong, but it dries clear. So you would see I've already prepared one in here. You can see how the glue is still white. Once it dries, it will be lovely and see-through, and all you will be left is that all that lovely sparkle in there. Okay, so the one that I just prepared I'm going to set aside. Now further decorating is these little bits, which I've already prepared again. I've added glitter to these, and I'm just adding little dots of glue, and you can add as many or as little as you want. I've made this before on cardstocks as well, and looks absolutely stunning. And you don't have to add glitter. You can use glitter heat embossing powder or whatever color that you would like. Now I'm using from Cosmic Shimmers the glitter jewels for this one. I think this is such a beautiful one as well. I think I got this on eBay quite a while ago. It is really beautiful. Okay, again you can see a little bit of a white of the glue showing through. When it dries completely clear. Okay, so the next thing to do is I've cut out this lovely, what we heat emboss with this lovely pearly shine with. So I'm going to add the glue into these little berries. Now I'm not going to worry about this branch on the bottom because I know that I won't be using that bit. And I'm taking some rhinestones, and my rhinestones are again from Chloe's range, and this one is the pink ones. Also has silver and a silver holographic, like an AB color, like silver, but it has all the beautiful colors through it, and I just absolutely adore these ones. So these are the ones that I'm using, and I'm going to use 2 sizes, the medium and the small ones on this project. Some of the pink ones have mixed up with it. There's so many of these little rhinestones in here. Honestly, I've been using this in so many projects and I still have plenty left in them. I absolutely love these bling boxes from Chloe. So I'm just adding, and I'm just really adding some of the medium size here and there and some of the smaller ones to the rest. So I really am not being particular about which one goes where. And just for another idea, I've used this foliage before and not added the rhinestones. I added a little bit of a glitter instead into every single one of those berries, and that looked absolutely beautiful as well. Again, just another idea, if you don't have any rhinestones or you don't like using rhinestones or you haven't got them in the color, I've used this foliage before by adding a bit of a glue into each of the berries and just sprinkle glitter on them as well, and that looked absolutely fantastic too. So these are all prepared except this foliage. Now, this never bothered me before when I used this on acetate or I used this on white cardstock, but now I don't like how in between the leaves it's all filled in with that holographic cardstock. So I just very quickly going to cut into them, and again, it doesn't have to be precise, it doesn't have to be in fact, I'm going a bit outside of those leaves and a bit outside of the stem as well, because I don't want it to be too thin and then it would just rip. As for preparation for all these, I'm going to assemble the flowers. I'm using hot glue to do mine, just a little bit of a hot glue in the middle, and then I'm taking the bit that I have put glitter on and I put this as on the next layer. Now again on another piece of a hot glue in here, and I'm going to put the acetate, and each time I'm offsetting these petals so they are not sitting on directly on top of each other, but this layer sits in between those petals, and so on and so on. Now, if you want to decorate the middle with rhinestones or anything that you like to use, go ahead, you can do that now. I don't want to. I think it looks beautiful with all the embossing powder that is on it. It's glittery as it is. Okay, so now all that's left is really to decorate our card. By accident, I pulled one of these branches off when I was cutting it out. So it gave me an idea. I think I'm going to separate some of these and add just single ones as well, which I hadn't done on the gold one. As for the flowers, I have prepared a large one, a medium one and a small one. And I'm going to put it on high speed from here to decorate the card, and I'll come back to you after. Okay, so for the sentiment, I've already stamped out this happy birthday, and this one is from lovely stamp set from the Simple Cards and Paper Crafts issue 239. I absolutely love the scripty font of the little sentiments in there, and I chose happy birthday. Now I stamped it out on the glittery and heat embossed it in the glittery heat embossing powder, but I think it kind of loses its definition, all the letters and all. So I stamped it again and I heat embossed it in the metallic silver wow embossing powder, and I think this looks just so much better. I'm just going to cut this just about 3/8 or half an inch before and after the sentiment. It's like that. And on my scoreboard, I'm going to add a little line at 1/4 of an inch on both sides. So it's about a 1/4 of an inch overhang actually, a bit on the both sides, just a little bit over. Okay, now I'm going to add a little curve to this, just like this, and fold back on these core lines. And all I'm going to add glue to is these little 1/4 inch tabs. You can see I heat embossed it on the other side too. I lost some of the powder in there, so I had to heat emboss it again in here. Now I'm just going to try to make sure this is nice and straight. It's like so. And that looks just lovely. I'm going to take a rhinestone, and I think I'm gonna go for the medium size, one on each end. This one is a small one. And I'm going to add one on each end in here. Just that same AB one with all different colors shining through the silver there. I think that's absolutely beautiful. One last thing for the front in here. I'm going to add little dots of glue here and there. Just for a bit of a sparkle, and I'm going to use the glitter jewels in here too. I'm just going to sprinkle it everywhere. So the last little detail that we need to add is a stopper for our easel card. So when we set it up like this, it will sit nicely against it. To do that, I've cut out with one of these smaller inverted scallops dies, and this one is 1 1/4 inch in around that. And I cut out one white and one of the holographic cardstock, the same one we cut those foliages out of. So I'm just going to glue these together just to make this nice and strong. And I'm going to use these foam pads, and I'm also going to double layer these. And I'm going to glue this just in here perhaps. But of course you can, instead of the circle, because I don't know who is going to get this card yet, instead of this circle you could use numbers, or you could personalize this in any way at all. It still needs to dry a bit, then I will just rub the glue down. Just okay, so here's the finished card. Just how beautiful, absolutely stunning this is. Now of course, instead of the circle you can use number in there if you know who is going to get the card, for what birthday you're making it. I think it is just such a beautiful, sparkly, really stunning card. So I'm gonna bring the gold version in here. And these are the two together. I will add photos from a front view. It's very hard to show from this direction, but I will take photos or a little video and I will add it in here. Now I promised you that I will walk you through what all I used to create this color combination. Okay, so to heat emboss the flowers on the white cardstock, I used metallic gold rich embossing powder. On the acetate, however, I wanted a little bit more sparkle, and I used the Tinsel Gold by Paper Mania. This is a gold sparkly glittery embossing powder. This is what I used on the acetate. The glitter that I used on the top 2 layers of the flowers is actually, it's by Glitter Stella, and it's the white wedding. It's the white wedding. These come in little pouches. I just added it to an empty Nuvo bottle in here. But I ordered these on eBay, but this says find us on Facebook. So Glitter by Stella. This white wedding is just such a beautiful, beautiful combination of colors in within the white. Is just gorgeous. It's like holographic but real pastely. I absolutely adore the look of that glitter. It's beautiful. This foliage I used gold mirror cardstock, and now I should be able to show you how much it lightened it up. I hope with the shine and all from the lights in here you can still see the color difference. I mean, it's still gold and still shiny. I think it's beautiful. It's just taken away from that yellowy color of the mirror cardstock. I think I prefer it this way for this card. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I love it. So in the background and for these little foliages, it's exactly the same glitter I used. Is the Glitter Jewels by Cosmic Shimmer. And for the little foliage, this one, the little rhinestones of berries even, I used from Chloe's Creative the festive version and the gold rhinestones. For this layer of cardstock, I used this heart one from the Rose Gold collection by Art Studio. I think it just fits so perfectly. And I've cut out a 50 as the stopper. The message will be going on the back in here. I just write the message or cut out with that same scallop circle die and write the message on that and glue it on it. Now I think it is just so gorgeous. I think they turned out absolutely beautiful. So I really hope you like this tutorial, and if you did, please give me the thumbs up on this video, and if you haven't yet done so, please consider subscribing to my channel. Every single interaction from you all makes my heart dance. I just love reading your comments, seeing your likes on my videos. I really am trying to get this channel growing a little bit. So if you're still listening, please comment below. Do you prefer the silver or the gold version of this card? Or would you rather see something more colorful, less blingy done? I will be using this stamp and die set, both of them actually, both the foliage and the flowers, in future upcoming videos. They are definitely my favorites for the time being anyway. So I really hope to see you back, guys, the next time with the next beautiful tutorial. And until then, bye!